Thank you. That was kind of weak now. Much better.
Got it.
Welcome, everybody. People that's there on Zoom, welcome for coming to Monday night at the Marsh. Isn't this wonderful?
Yeah.
Live performance is better than Netflix any day. That's all I want to say. That's all I want to say. For you guys that's in Zoom, and you're not here, that's okay. I just want to let you know, it's standing room only. It's so. And I'm sorry you missed it. Next Monday, please show up. It'll be wonderful. Okay, here we go. If this is your first time, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. We appreciate it at the Marsh. We appreciate you supporting us because, as you know, the theaters are really struggling and we appreciate it so much. So I'm going to say something really quick. Now they say talking about money is tacky. But I'm tacky. So we're going to talk about that donation, beautiful glass right there. So when you guys leave, you can put some money there in the glass. Now I just want to let you know, we like quiet money at the Marsh. You know what quiet money is? I'm at a black church, right? And the pastor don't want to hear nothing clingling on that offering plates. He wants something very quiet, like the dollar bills. And just to let you know, a $1 is just as quiet as a 50. Did you know that? I found that out. Okay, here we go. Let's do procedures. Please silence your phones right now, please, if you do have that. Just a little reminder. Also, we have the emergency exit, which is over here, one right here. And then we have an emergency exit right there. If you guys get confused, follow me because I'm getting up out of here, just to let you know on that.
Both on the same time.
I know some of you guys are saying in cyberspace and Zoom, hey, I can come up on the stage and do this. We'll do this if you're that bad, you know, come up to the stage. If you go with the Marsh and you look on Monday Night March with submissions, we would love to have you here with your performing because you know, a lot of people who are doing solo performance for the Marsh and having a show have started at Monday Night Marsh. So you got to start somewhere. Okay, what else are we going to talk about? Here's something. You know, we have 3 wonderful performers, but you know, after the performance, we're going to have a discussion and they're going to come up here and you can ask them anything you would like. Almost ask them. But after the show, they're going to be here. So you guys can ask them some questions because I'm sure you have questions in your mind. Now, let's start. The performance that we have for tonight is Kat Meltzer, Bennett Cafe, and Lucas Larson. Our first performer for tonight. Are you ready for our first performer?
Yeah. And there's probably just a couple people there.
I always like the first performer. Don't you like the first performer? Come out.
Yeah.
Here we're going to do. Let's talk about our first performer. Her name is Kat Meltzer. Here's the thing. The intro. Kat Meltzer is a Bay Area writer, artist, and performer. She doesn't know what she is doing, like me, right? But bless her heart, y'all. Bless her heart. But she's doing it anyway, and that's what you got to do anyway. Are you ready for her to do it her way?
Yeah.
Okay, Kat's play is called The Ties That Blind. A loving mother is determined to give a toast to her daughter's unconventional wedding. Let's get ready. Give Kat a round of applause.
Well, that was a wedding. Chrissy, Lance, you kids are so creative. I, for one, have never seen vows done as interpretive dance. Anyway, Our contribution to the happy couple is Chrissy, who's rolling her eyes. And Lance's parents are here. We didn't think they were gonna make it, but they showed. So we're so happy to see that. Young lady, could you fill up everybody's glasses? I have a special toast for you kids. Now, when Bob and I got married, we did the old fashioned till death do you part vows. And it was a couple years in, I remember thinking, I don't think he's gonna die. No, and then you were born, honey, and I was so scared because the world is not kind and you're you. And I thought I was gonna die, and then nobody died. Here we are. So I just need to say something first. Preston and Louise. Preston. Louise, where's Preston? Oh, what's he doing in the bathroom? Reconsidering fatherhood. Okay. Bob, sweetheart, would you go and check on him, make sure he's okay? The father of the bride, everybody. Doesn't daddy look handsome? It's like Chewbacca in a tux. Oh. So, Louise, and we just met, and I'm sure you're lovely, and I'm sure Preston didn't mean anything, but did I hear him call my Chrissy Sasquatch? Okay, because the word is Yeti. Yetis. Well, the whole family. Well, not me, obviously, but Bob and his brother Herb over there. Lance did tell me. Metaphor. Chrissy. More like metaphor, huh? Well, I think it's funny. Oh, once you go Wookie. Chrissy's Uncle Herb and Aunt Meryl and everybody. Herb thinks he's a comedian. Herb, settle down. Okay, Louise. We don't use the S word because we don't want to appropriate Native American language. So we use the word from Tibet. Isn't that the same thing?
I do think so.
Honey, don't cancel your mother. I'm doing my best. Louise, the word is Yeti. It's perky. I feel Yeti. Oh, so Yeti. Bigfoot, Louise. That is an old stereotype. Chrissy, honey, take your shoes off. The Lance's mother. No, I'm not the boss of you. But I am the woman who gave you life. Fine. Louise, Chrissy has perfectly normal size feet. When she shapes them anyway. She has to. No. Cute shoes are more important than tradition. Isn't that right? Isn't that right, honey? Yes, it is. Okay. So anyway. You kids. You're so, I forgot what I was gonna say, honey. I'm sorry. Anyway. Matching wedding gowns. You kids look adorable. Oh. And there go your grandparents, Chrissy. Hang on. Mom. Dad. More cake for the rest of us. Kids, I think matching wedding gowns is a darling idea. And an act of solidarity against the patriarchy, Lance. Chrissy, honey, he talks like you. I'm so sorry, kids. They don't approve of anything. I myself am the whore of Babylon. Who cares? Not me. Louise, I have a confession. I was not too sure about your Lance when we first met. Well, yes, dear, it was because of the pronoun thing. Everybody, Lance is a they. He is not a he. They is a they. And dear, I didn't get it. And then one day, it dawned, it's very crowded in here. And I thought, maybe I'm a they. Chrissy says personal pronouns are intended to reflect the diverse spectrum of gender identities, thereby leading to a more inclusive society. Thank you, honey. And apparently I'm not a they, I'm just crazy. Honey, could be both. And shouldn't that be neurodiverse? Well, if a menopause brain isn't neurodiverse, I mean, honestly, am I right, or Marilyn, Louise? I'm right. Bob, sweetheart, is Preston okay? He's snorting antihistamine and crying. Oh, the good news. We would love some good news. He's wearing SpongeBob boxer shorts. No, I wouldn't have accepted. Bob, I need some. Oh, that's the bad news. His pants were itching him. And his shirt. Everything but the SpongeBob boxer shorts. Okay, so Louise says he's allergic sometimes. Okay. Hold on, sweetheart. Herb, you are not allergic to your suit. That is not a thing. Pull your pants up and sit down. Just make sure he's okay and get back when you can, sweetheart. Okay. He'll be all right, right, Louise? Oh, okay. And can we just take a moment to appreciate Louise, because she is here for these kids. And she looks amazing. Oh, yes. Louise, honestly, you could be Lance's sister. No, hand to heart. You look just like Barbie. That is not what I said. I did not. I know. Don't cry, Louise. Your face definitely moves. Chrissy says, I'm the Bigfoot of cringe. What can I say, honey? When you're right, you're right. Honey. You have some lipstick on your teeth. Yes, I am going to do the toast, honey. I'm just waiting for Daddy to get back with Preston any second. Let me tell you, on my wedding day, your Grammy Nanu, my mother-in-law, everyone, your Grammy Nanu said to me. Well, yes, Herb, I know my accent is terrible. What it means, honey, is they don't change. They don't change. Well, a husband and a groom are the same thing. And take off the tux or the gown, as the case may be, they are the same. But a bride and a wife, I was a wife or bride. I was a bride. I'm still a wife. I was a bride for about a year. It was the most fun. It was like I was the star of my own movie. And in my head, I was played by Diane Keaton. And one day I opened my closet.
The time has come, boys, three.
Diane Keaton does not wear sassy sweatshirts with rhinestones or motivational t-shirts or elasticated jeans that come up to her nipples. But I had bought all that stuff. It was like I was under a spell. Bibbidi bobbidi, live, laugh, love. And poof, no more horror Babylon. No more, I'm a bride. I was just an ordinary wife, zigging and zagging in my ordinary life. I was a sentient Roomba. Marilyn, yes, Marilyn, honey, did you know the Yeti word for mother literally translates to egg carton? Yes, that's why Daddy calls me his little Easter basket. Yes, honey, yes, Daddy is more fun. Daddy is always more fun. Halloween, remember Halloween? When Chrissy was 6, 7. Daddy dyed himself green and Chrissy was blue. And they went as Oscar and Cookie Monster. It was so cute. Honey, somebody has to be in charge of the worrying. Am I right, Marilyn? Louise? I'm right. Bob, sweet. Stop. I can't hear you. Tell him to stop yelling. Did he just say unnatural? Give Preston the phone right now. Back. Preston, have you ever seen a platypus? Because it has fur too. And it lays eggs and it has poisonous ankles. Nature is unnatural. So you listen to me, you furrophobic piece of. Yes, Bob, I'm calm. Everybody is calm. Just give me the bad news. No, of course he's not allergic to the suit. He never. He's allergic to you. But there's good news. Preston loves to play poker. And he's coming to your game next week. I could not be more thrilled. Louise, I'm just saying, if we make it look like an accident, we could be out 2-3 years tops. Oh, Ed, about the Barbie thing. I just want you to know, Barbie, people have forgotten that Barbie was revolutionary. She was the first doll with her. Of course, they're real. They're real, right, Elise? Oh. Oh. Well, for goodness sake, you go, girl. Your body, your choice. Preston doesn't know. Oh, all right, everybody. This is our little secret. Herb, I'm not kidding. I am not. Marilyn, tell him I'm not kidding. Herb. Lance told us all about gender in the animal kingdom, and many bug wives like to bite off their husbands' heads. So today is about Chrissy and Lance. Yes, honey, I am gonna do the toast. I promise. Daddy will be back any second. Sit up straight, honey. So when I got married, oh, I know, Chrissy and Lance, they met at college in gender studies, just like Bob and me. Although back then, gender studies was more of an extracurricular activity. And so one Saturday night, I'm at this orgy. And I'm in the kitchen loading the dishwasher and talking to the dog. Because Herb, the dog, was a very good listener. So I'm in the kitchen and yes, honey, an orgy. Because back then we lived in caves with landlines and there was no such thing as Tinder. So I'm in the kitchen. Oh, why am I in the kitchen at the orgy? Good question, Lance. I'm in the kitchen at the orgy because I was young and I had just realized that there's only so many ways to ride a bicycle. And I thought I was up for the Tour de France. And turns out I'm a bicycle built for two. And sometimes a unicycle. But so I'm in the kitchen. And I'm talking to that dog. And that dog should have been a therapist. So I get a rip. And I'm gonna give it to. Oh. So I'm gonna give it to the dog and I get down on the floor and I say, who's a good boy? And behind me, I hear, well, I jump and throw the bone, the dog's barking, they're slipping, they're falling, there's everything. And I end up on the floor under Chewbacca. Who says to me, I'm a very good boy. And he was. Once you go Wookiee, right, Marilyn? Yeah. We're right. Honey, I am sorry, but you did not invent the bicycle. Yes, as your mother, I'm telling you, yes, you have to wear a helmet. Am I right, Marilyn? Louise? 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 Young lady, could we get towel for the groom's mother and maybe a pillow. Oh. Ah. Bob, sweetheart, what? You're out of breath. You're outside? No, I didn't know the place had a pool. Yes, I would like you to catch him. Did he just call you the S word? Because that was not okay. Was that a splash? Bob? Bob? Honey. Oh. Preston and Daddy running around like a couple of kids. That's my point. They don't change. But we do, because we have to. Like, I remember, I can still see you running around singing C is for Cookie. And today, you're the bride, the beautiful bride, the star of your special day. But there are so many ordinary days. And that's the spell. And maybe someday you'll be giving a toast at your own daughter's wedding and you're getting ready. And the love of your life takes a shower and puts on his tux or his gown and then flops on the bed to play poker because he's ready. And you're standing at the mirror in your load-bearing underwear and your hair's thinning and there's music coming up from the floor and you don't know the words to anything anymore. And you're not Diane Keaton. You're not even an egg carton. You don't know who you are. Again. But it's okay because you'll figure it out. Because you always do. And he hasn't changed. So he still thinks you're a catch. Bob, damn it. Yes, I can hear him snoring. Yeah, antihistamines will do that. No, just stay with him. I'll be out in a minute. Yes, I will order you some pet dander shampoo so you can play poker. And you want some Simpsons boxer shorts. Okay. Okay, kids, I'm sorry, I give up. I'm sorry. Lance. Honey, you're right. We are mostly here. And most of us are conscious. And Chrissy says maybe that's mostly what we get. So I can do my toast. Everybody, give me a beat. Put your hands in the air if you care a lot for my Chrissy self-care and her Lance a lot. Lance, you the man. Oh, you lady, who needs tender when your words and temper lie and your heart is love and tender. And Miss Chris speaks, oh, stop it, you're messing me up. Miss Chris speaks all her mind, she wicked smart. No doubt you see a sexual, intellectual work of art and check it. You came out of me. Today you're starting off on your marriage journey. You'll be rolling with your soulmate, just like Bert and Ernie. Chrissy is Bert. You're so young and full of hope. Life's a dope kaleidoscope. Got your love to keep you warm and magical metabolisms. And the world is made of rainbows because babies, you're the prisms. But word up, the future is always hazy and you'll drive each other crazy. So, yo, don't get lazy. Something. Patrick Swayze. So we're gonna raise a glass and wish you both good luck because we love you both forever and we're all as proud as we can be.
When you used to be 9 years old. Yeah, I was a fool for you from the bottom of my soul. Yeah, now that you've grown up, grown enough to know. Yeah, but you wanna leave, you wanna let me go. I want you to know. I said I want you to know right now, hey, you've been good to me, baby, better than I've been to myself, hey, hey, and if you ever leave me, I don't want nobody else, hey, hey, I said I want you to know, hey, I said
I am back. Wasn't that a wonderful show by Clark? Again, it's a show called The Ties That Blind. Wonderful show. I know you guys got some questions you want to ask her after the show. I know, 'cause I know I do. But anyway, here we go. We're going to our second show. Oh, first I'd like to say, it's June. And for those that celebrate this month in June, which is Happy Gay Pride Month. So anybody that celebrate Happy Gay Pride Month. Still fighting for equality, that's all I can say. Now our next performer, are you guys ready for him? Okay, this is Bennett Cafe. Cafe. Bennett Cafe. Cafe, y'all. Don't need to quit. Not pronouncing his name right. Okay, then. Thank you.
I copied the name.
And I still mess up. I still mess up. But let me tell you about Bennett. His storytelling highlights his experiences with bipolar mood disorder. He has performed his show, My First Miracle, Adventures in Bipolar Disorder, to critical acclaim at numerous fringe festivals. But tonight, Bennett will be performing the middle part of his new play, his new show that's called Orange, You Glad to Be in Miami? I'll repeat myself. Orange, You Glad to Be in Miami? That will be premiering at the Nanaimo. Nanaimo. Way in Canada. So I don't have to pronounce it. He's gonna be way in Canada at that festival. That's all I want to say. It's gonna be in August. Why don't you guys give Bennett a round of applause?
I was only in my jail cell a few hours. Laura, the lady social worker, doesn't waste any time and makes arrangements to have me sent to Fort Logan, Colorado State Hospital in Denver. As I'm being led up the door in handcuffs, I can hear her talking to one of the guards. I just don't understand. He seemed so normal when I was talking to him. Don't worry, Laura. It'll be okay. Someday you'll get it. Hands off the lady, buddy. Fort Logan is huge. Used to be an old army base. There must be hundreds of patients here. This is where it's gonna happen. But it's not meant to be. After a few days, my parents come out and fly me back to Miami, check me into a private psychiatric hospital. And as we're getting off the plane, this woman my parents should never, ever know, walks up to us and says hello. Alice Acker, she's an actress. And somehow she's picking up on what's going on with me. And as we're saying goodbye, she says, Ben, be sure to take vitamins, organic vitamins, and remember the white light. She was sent here for a reason. The new Messiah is going to be an entertainer. I got to learn how to act. And as I'm checking into the hospital, who do I get for a roommate? The acting teacher from the community college. This is where I'm supposed to be. I've been flying too high. I got to get knocked back down and be with the people. And to make the point, first thing they do at Highland Park is take away my street clothes and give me a gown and hospital pants to wear. Highland Park is a boutique psychiatric hospital. They've got every kind of therapy. Dance therapy, music therapy, drama therapy, art therapy, and of course, group therapy. It's like a retreat, but it's still a psych hospital, and I can't leave. Bong, bong, bong. Attention, please. It's medication time. Patients, please report to the nurse's station for medications. I'm standing in line waiting for my meds. Nurse hands me a tiny paper cup full of pills, and I take them like a sacrament. They're my penance for thinking I'm better than everybody else. Every day they kick in a little harder. I've still got my energy, but it's bouncing around inside me like it can't get out. I'm in the dining room, trying to eat things. They keep flying off my fork. So I switched to a spoon, but that doesn't work either. Like cover this piece with one hand, bring the spoon up to my mouth with both hands, keeping my head down so they don't have to look at anybody. Humility. That's what I'm here for. But the shakes aren't just in my hands. They're inside me and they keep getting worse. I can barely hang on. I call up my Harry, my old high school girlfriend. Her mom answers the phone. Mrs. Watson, could you ask Carrie to come visit me? I'm at Highland Park Hospital. The next day, face down in bed, hanging onto it like I'm afraid of falling up to the ceiling. Nurse comes to the door. Ben, there's some visitors here to see you. I come out of the room wearing just hospital pants and a gown. I feel naked. John, my old high school buddy, is in the hall with Carrie. The nurse is hanging back, watching us like she's afraid to leave me alone with them. Hey guys, thanks for coming. Yeah, Ben, heard you're in the hospital. Are you okay? I'm all right, but these meds you're giving her make me feel really shaky. About a month ago, I took a really big dose of LSD and it releases this amazing energy inside me. It came on so fast, I couldn't handle it. Then I wound up in here. But it also gave me this incredible insight. When I look into my hands, look at you, at the hallway, everything, it's all part of the same thing. And it's all happening in here in my mind. Everything you see out there is really happening in here. And once everybody gets that we're all the creators of our own experience, responsible for everything that happens around us, we'll be in heaven right here on earth. And by some weird chance, the universe has picked me to show the way. I am the chosen one. The nurse is looking right at me. And when I get out of here, I'm stealing the towels. Wow, Ben, that's really interesting. John doesn't say much else. Like, he's afraid anything he says might set me off even further. Here he's hanging back in silent terror. Later on, John tells me he and Carrie didn't say a word to each other on the way home. They were afraid I'd gone completely crazy and was never coming back. A few days later, I get my street clothes back. I'm lying in bed, face down, not because I'm tired, it's just the only place I can feel comfortable. Bob, my acting teacher or roommate, is in the bed next to me. He's not the mentor I thought he'd be. He just lies in bed all day and doesn't say anything, but it's still nice to know he's there. Attention, please. Group therapy will be starting in the TV room in 5 minutes. Group therapy in 5 minutes. I get up slowly. Head rush. Side effect from my meds. I start shuffling down to the TV room. Short, choppy steps like I've got Parkinson's. My right foot snaps inward. In a cramp, right straight. And limp on down the TV room. Just sitting down is torture. I have to hang on to the sides of my chair to keep from jumping out. Allison, therapist, leads off. Does anyone have any issues they'd like to discuss? Katie jumps right in. She's in her mid-20s, wearing a designer top that has bitch written on it. It is driving me crazy. He keeps saying crazy stuff like when he gets out of here, he's going to be a topless go-go dancer in a gay bar. Like you, Katie, you keep telling everybody you're here because of marijuana. Give me a break. Nobody gets put in a psychiatric hospital for marijuana. What's the real reason why you're in here? I took 5 hits of acid, at least I've got a reason. And he called me a bitch. Hey, you're wearing a t-shirt that has bitch written on it. What do you expect? Actually, Katie, if you're gonna wear a shirt like that, you really do need to take some responsibility for helping them when they have to. Helen, the old lady, jumps in. And he's a swab. She's made him at the tail. And Helen's got terminal cancer. She just got admitted. She has no idea what's going on with me and my meds. I let it go, but Lisa steps in my defense. Actually, Helen, he wasn't eating like that when he came in here. It's the meds he's taking. They're making his hands really shaky. Bob jumps out of his chair. He doesn't belong in here. He's young and alive. He should be out in the world wreaking havoc. You should see him with his father. He runs circles around the man. His father doesn't even know it. He doesn't belong here. He's got more life in him than anybody here. Wow. You start me on Cogentin. It helps with the shakes, and I can walk okay. But I can't stand still. I'm doing laps around the unit, round and round, round and round. And I see this patient getting on the elevator by himself. Except for the wristband, he doesn't look like a patient, really straight, button down shirt, khaki pants, dress shoes. Lisa waves at him as the elevator doors are closing. Lisa, who's that guy? And how come he gets to take the elevator by himself? Oh, that's Ryan. He's going to be discharged in a few days. He's a level R. That means they trust him and he won't try to escape. He can take the elevator by himself to visit other floors and even go down to the lobby by himself. He looks really stiff and bored. Yeah, well, that's what you're gonna look like when you get out of here. I didn't know it yet, but I'm a level A, which I figure stands for asshole. I'm stuck on the unit and I can't go anywhere. If I want to get out of here, I gotta be more like Ryan. I'm not just in here to pay my dues. I'm in here to learn how to play the game. I've got my own Ryan outfit I can wear. When I was at Fort Logan, I didn't have hardly any clothes to wear. They let me pick out whatever I wanted from a room full of donated clothes. I went for the Campus Youth for Christ look. Button down shirt, khaki pants, brown lace up shoes. I was going for ironic, but I looked like a dork and I never wore it. I only wear my Ryan outfit one day, but it does the trick. It's not about the clothes. It's all about the attitude. I get moved up to level B, which I figure stands for better. I can go on patient outings to the beach and stuff, and even go out on an occasional dinner pass with my parents. After a few weeks, I figure out the secret for getting out of here. It's like a catch-22. If you think you need to be in here, you don't. And if you don't, you do. I'm at group therapy, pretending to have insight into my problems. I'm worried about what I'm going to be doing after I get discharged. I'm afraid things are going to be just the same as they were when I came in here. He's giving me a nod. It's good to see you're taking yourself more seriously. No more crazy being a topless go-go dancer in a gay bar stuff. Yeah, Katie. I guess it was just my way of avoiding the truth. Like, I couldn't face the fact that I have no idea what I'm going to be doing when I get out of here. That's very insightful, Betty. Does anyone else have any concerns about what they might be doing after discharge? Yes, Bob. I'm afraid to go back to teaching. I feel like I've got nothing left to give. Bob, even when you could barely talk, you stood up for me. Remember, he's got more life in him than anybody here. You've got through some serious shit and come out the other side. Maybe you can bring that in your teaching. That's very good feedback, Betty. Finally, they trust me. And they up my privileges to level R. Which I figure stands for ready for discharge. I can visit other floors and even go down to the lobby by myself. Take the elevator downstairs to mail a letter. Go out the lobby door. Put my letter in the mail slot. And I see the green grass next to the sidewalk. I know it's out of bounds, but I took one step. And, oh, that feels good. Take a step and, oh, great start. I just started walking. I know I should turn around. It feels so good, like an invisible force is pulling me forward, faster and faster. Faster and faster, right through Overtown where white people never go, through downtown Miami until I can't go any farther, and there it is. The Miami Herald building right in front of me. I go inside, right up to the receptionist. I need to see a reporter. It's really important. No question. He sends me up to the newsroom. Jake, the reporter, takes me into his tiny cubby hole of an office. He's your classic ink in his blood type of reporter. So you say you're the new Messiah. And we're all gods in the center of our own universe. Yes, but I'm only a messenger. I'm no better than anybody else. Once everybody realizes that we're all the creators of our own experience, responsible for everything that happens around us, all the problems of the world will be solved. We'll be in heaven right here on earth. It's really interesting. What's your last name again? Caffee, like coffee with an A, C-A-F-F-E-E. And where are you staying these days, Captain? I'm at Island Park. And how did you come to realize that you were the new Messiah? Excuse me a second. Janet, could you come in here for a minute, please? Could you take care of this right away, please? It's very important. 15 minutes later, Bob and Larry from the hospital. They don't have a name for the level I'm at right now. I'm in the ICU, a locked room with a couple of psych techs watching over me in video. My parents are so pissed at the hospital for letting me escape. After a couple of days, they had me transferred to Mercy Hospital, a Catholic hospital with a no-frills psych. I give up. I'm not going to try to get discharged anymore. I'm just going to wait it out. My new doctor, Dr. Nixon, comes in every morning about 7 o'clock. He's super straight, clean shaven, jet black hair, always wears black suits, doesn't say much. He just keeps upping my meds and dodging my questions about when I'm going to get out of here. The meds are doing their job. My energy's gone. I'm a slug. I still know I'm going to be the new Messiah. Not anytime soon. It's been a lot of time sitting in a day room, watching the world go by. I've got a clear shot of the visitors as they come on and off the unit through the locked door. If I time it right, I could slip right through the door and just keep on going. But what's the point? I've got no place to go. Thank you.
Got a big fat mama trying to break me, and I love to live so pleasantly, live this life of luxury, lazing on a sunny afternoon in the summertime. In the summertime, in the summertime, my girlfriend's run up with my car and gone back to her ma and pa, telling tales of drunkenness and cruelty. Now I'm sitting here, sipping at my ice cold beer, blazing on the
Let's give another round of applause. Bennett, Kathy,
Very good.
okay, I'm gonna take that all the way to Canada. You'll see me in the audience. There we go. Let's give Bennett another round of applause. Orange, you glad to be in Miami. And he's gonna be in Canada in August. So if you guys ain't doing nothing in August, go on. Okay, that's all I'm just saying. You know, today is Monday Night March, right?
Yeah.
Okay, do you know what's happening on Tuesday at the march? It's called Tell It on Tuesday. It's in Berkeley, wonderful show. You know what's happening on Wednesday in March? I'll tell you what's happening in Berkeley in March. It's the Greg McGregor Band. Wonderful band, jazz, singers, blues, everything. You know what's happening down there one more time? And Saturday, right here, Saturday. Don Reed's, the Never Too Late Show. Come here, because you know who's gonna be here? I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here on Saturday. I can pronounce Don Reed's name. Be happy and say it properly every time. Don Reed, right, there you go. Here he is right here. Here you go, Don Reed. Now looking at him and looking at me. Do you know what's on June 19th of this month? Juneteenth Festival, do you know about that?
Yeah.
That's Black folks, right? We got it. I'm getting a round of applause for that. Bennett, do you know it's Gay Pride Month for June? You don't care. It don't matter if you straight. You straight now. It don't- You straight now. You straight. You know they're gonna fire me from this job. Okay. Do you know what's happening on Saturday? And it's called Josh Hornbluth's Citizen Brain, Berkeley. I get free tickets for that. I'm gonna go see that. You know what? It's on, coming here to San Francisco in July, through July 24th to August 18th is Fred Pitts. Aren't you?
Yeah.
Right? I have a lot of questions to ask these first two people that came up here. So anyway, are we ready for our final performer tonight?
Yeah.
I don't think you guys heard me. Are we ready? Get that little energy, you know? Okay, let's get ready. There's always things happen on Monday Night March. Person that's going to be performing on the stage, his name is Lucas Larson, is a stand-up comedian, and will be performing 20 minutes of his best jokes.
Yeah.
Not for poo-poo jokes, his best jokes. So come and laugh.
Spider-Man at a heavy metal concert. Just a big mess. Recently celebrated my dog's very first birthday. I was real excited, but he was real pissed that I missed his other 6. And despite my vibe up here, no, I was not homeschooled. Okay, that started weird. Let's get into it. Before the pandemic, I volunteered at a science camp for small children. And at the end of camp, all the children filled out notes with prompts on them. My favorite prompt was, where will your camp counselor, that's me, be in 5 years? And my favorite response was 67 question mark. I really appreciated the question mark. Because it meant that they were either unsure of my age, or they were unsure I was going to live 5 more years. I'm very charismatic. Seems like a crowd that would like some crowd work. Sir. Handshake. End of crowd work. Really like the Marvel movies. Because before the Marvel movies, non-nerdy people did not know about multiple universes. I'd go out to eat at In-N-Out, and I would walk up to the soda machine and talk to the person next to me, because people skills. And be like, in this universe, I selected Coke, and Coke came out. In a different universe, I select Coke and Sprite comes out. In a totally different universe, I select Coke and the fun type of Coke comes out. They looked at me weird. But they were intrigued by fun Coke. Don't worry, if you didn't get that joke went better for you and me in a different universe. Despite my voice, I like sports. And was recently at Wrigley Field, and it's the only place I've ever been where the urinals face each other. Is bad news bears. For those who can't picture it, walk in 3-foot wall on one side, urinals, and directly on the other side, also urinals. I'm just staring straight ahead. And someone's staring back. Turns into a romantic gaze. While touching ourselves. Like, I'm super liberal, but that's the only time in my life where I thought, build that wall. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm also from Colorado, so I'm legally forced to like hiking. Whenever I'm hiking up, the most annoying thing is when someone hiking down unprompted tells me almost there. Because all I can think is, hey, that fucker thinks I'm not gonna make it. So I wait till they get a little farther down the trail, and then I yell down at them, hey, you dropped something up here. They scamper up, thinking they dropped like a Cliff Bar or an Nalgene. Like, nah, you just dropped your manners. Mom, okay. I also heard that if there's a lost hiker anywhere, on average, they have to search the area of Delaware to try to find them. And I didn't realize that Delaware was a unit of measurement for lost hikers. It's the unit of measurement for lost hikers in Delaware. Like they can't get on the evening news in Delaware and be like, yeah, we've searched the whole state and still can't find them. So instead, they're like, yeah, we've searched the area of 5 super targets. Don't do segues, they're dangerous. Next joke, okay. Despite what I look like, I like to work out. And I like to work out at 24-hour fitness in the city. Because personally, I work out harder and I feel in danger. Like, I've never been to prison. But I have been to 24-hour fitness at 3 a.m. If you were watching the security footage of me working out at 3 a.m., it would look like an episode of Scared Straight. I've also never used the steam rooms at 24-hour fitness. I would personally rather go to prison. Oh yeah, next joke, okay. I'm addicted to my phone. Nothing good, okay. I like Warren Buffett. And I like Warren Buffett because of his nickname, the Oracle of Omaha. Because he gets people to visit him in Omaha. And he's one of the most successful investors of all time, worth billions of dollars. But what I find most impressive about Warren Buffett is that he gets people to visit him in Omaha. Someone recently paid $10 million to have lunch with Warren Buffett. And that's messed up. Because I bet at the end of lunch, Warren Buffett felt a lot of pressure to put out. Like for $10 million, I want dessert and dessert back at my place. Sorry, that's my dirtiest joke, okay. I'm very alpha. I also own a beta fish. Because for the beta fish, all the ladies would come over to my place and be like, wow, Lucas, this is too much masculine energy. Ever since the beta fish, all the ladies come over to my place. They're like, wow, Lucas, this is net zero masculine energy. I've been reading a lot on the beta fish very alpha activity. Been reading, and male beta fish cannot be with other male beta fish because otherwise they will fight to the death. Very beta activity. Yeah. So I've been trying to become less alpha. So now whenever I see another male, I just go, hey, do you want to play Monopoly? Which is my way of saying, I don't know how or about what, but we're definitely going to fight. That's a weird one, okay. Yeah, it's cool if I try a joke for the very first time.
Sure.
Oh yeah, okay. This is 100% true. There's people that pay thousands of dollars to other people to name their child. And I really want to be one of those other people being paid. And I'm like, how do you get that job? What's on your resume? Like that you named your dog? I need to practice to get that job. So I'm going to practice with some adults. Alex. 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 Bob. Alex. Oh, yeah, a very strong resume now. Okay, thanks for listening to that detail. Putting it in the maybe pile, okay. I really like Star Wars. That's my first time telling you that, but you already knew that. I also somehow have a human wife. She's very, very real. And we got married at San Francisco City Hall. And the judge's name was George Lucas. Wow, Mr. Lucas. Mr. Lucas went from directing one of the best sci-fi action movies of all time to directing My Wedding, a psychological thriller. You aren't sure if both people are real or not. My very dear wife in Barcelona, she was born and raised in Barcelona, met on Tinder, got tapas, she's very real. And then after the first date, I texted her, hey, do you want to fly yourself to Portugal in 72 hours, smiley face? To which she responded, O-K. But I've told everyone where I'm going, who I'm meeting, and they're tracking my phone. To which I responded, sounds good, see you soon. And I was really nervous for the second date. I was really nervous because I didn't know how many beds to book. Like, do I assume and book one queen bed? Or do I not assume and book 2 twin beds? So I go to the Portugal airport that night, fully expecting to be me alone with the 3 beds that I booked. Got up there. And I found out that the queen bed was really just 2 twin beds. Like, fuck, now I'm the weirdo that booked the 4 beds. And so well, in fact, that he was like, tie me up and do whatever you want. So I tied her up and put on Lord of the Rings extended edition. Kept calling her precious. He's very real. Okay. Things are going well. We're married. And I have to tell you that because of what I'm going to tell you next. And that is for the whole first year of dating. I mispronounced her first name. Going well. Her first name is Neus. And she was like, hey, my name isn't Neus, it's Neus. I was like, those are the exact same words. But since she started it, I said, I'll be like, hey, you've actually been calling me by the wrong first name. My first name isn't Luke, it's Lucas. He's like, I know your name is Lucas, but I also know you're a really big fan of Star Wars. And I thought it was a lot sexier to date the hero of the story instead of the director. Okay. But we made up after that argument. And she actually called me daddy. I was like, no, no, no. I am your father. I have met my very real in-laws, very real, okay. And walk in, they come up to me, they say, hola. And I say, hola back. If you're not bilingual like me, that means hello. And then after hola, hola, they turn to the cat and immediately start using more complicated Spanish than I understand. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Every cat I've ever met only speaks English. So I immediately start talking to the cat in English. And The cat just went. And like I have only talked to American cats. So I don't know what that means in Spanish cat. In American cat, that means back the fuck up. Oh, yeah, okay. In very real life. Also argue about how to measure things. So he's European, so he uses the metric system. And I'm American, so I immediately went to Google to find out what our system is called. Then he's European, so he uses the 24-hour clock. And I'm American, so I use the 12-hour clock, which is much better. Because figuring out what time it is at 21:58 requires math. Then finally, he's European, so he uses Celsius, and he's like, Celsius is the best. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, nice round number. And I'm American, so I'm like, Fahrenheit is the best. Water boils when I see bubbles. We sort of want to Lucas Larson.
Give a round of applause to everybody that was. Now, I'm glad you guys are staying, right? Okay, because we're gonna have a lot of discussion.
Okay.
You know, ask any questions. I got it. This is Robert right here. He's working that magic in that booth, right? Isn't it wonderful? He likes to bring chairs up too. So we're gonna bring our performers, and their names again are, here we go, Bennett. Kathy.
You can do it.
Kathy,
That's right.
there we go. All right, and then we have Pat Meltzer. And thank you, Lucas Larson.
Also known as me.
Yeah.
Well, here we are. Okay, I'm gonna ask the audience, do you guys have anything that you'd like to ask? With your performer? There you go, Kat.
So, I love the toilet paper prop. I mean, it's a cool prop in a funny way.
It is a fun prop.
It is a fun prop. I just kind of curious symbolically. When you pulled it off. Like, I didn't feel any connection as to why that would have been that moment. Like, I wanted to see a little stronger, because you notice it, right?
That's you're very observant.
I wanted like, and it was just like. I would like some more,
You wanted that moment to have
I
some
want that
meaning.
moment to have some meaning.
Mhm. And it's toilet paper.
It's she's not horrified, she's like, God.
No, she's pretty distracted by it.
Yeah. And then I don't understand where you put it in, right?
Mhm.
And so I just wanted. I think it could be developed more.
Thank you. I will take that note. The way I've been doing it is, if it comes into my field of vision, I deal with it then.
I think so.
And that, tonight it was long enough that it actually got in my way.
Yeah, it should.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, thank you. I will
Yeah.
work on that. Thank you very much.
Lucas, may I ask you, how long have you been doing stand-up comedy?
About 4 years.
4 years, okay, and do you enjoy it?
Yeah,
Enjoy.
it's what I do most nights of the week.
I'm sorry, say that again?
It's what I do most nights of the week.
Okay. Have you performed at any of the clubs around? I know people always ask you that question. you know, clubs that you perform around, especially the Bay Area? Is there any kind of show that you're gonna be doing anytime soon or?
Yeah, so I performed at the Punchline and then I'm starting to produce my own show for the first time. So the first one is July 8th at the Counterpulse Theater in near the Powell Park Station.
The July 8th,
Yeah,
what time?
8 p.m., 7:30 doors,
Okay, name of a place again?
Counterpulse Theater.
Okay, theater. Another question, I noticed that your comedy is what they call clean comedy.
Yeah, it's pretty clean. Like I've tried to go dirty, people don't find me very funny when I go dirty. So I just naturally write clean, but like if you're ever doing like corporate gigs or something, they pretty much always want clean, and it's easier to like. Generally speaking, it's easier to go dirty than it is to like go clean.
How long does it take to come up with your set? It seems like stop motion animation, when you work on this whole entire thing, and then you have like a certain amount of much smaller material.
Yeah.
How long does it take to make like a 20-minute set?
So I've been doing it like 4 years, and I could probably stand up here and do like decent jokes for about 30, and I could do like jokes for like 40. But yeah, so just started doing like 15 to 20 minute sets more recently. So like when you're performing it, most nights you're either doing anywhere from a 3-minute spot to a 10-minute spot. And it's totally different ball game as far as like keeping people's attention.
Yeah.
I have a question for Kat. I'm wondering if
Yeah, we can't see anything.
We can't see anything.
I'm wondering if the piece comes out of any real life experience.
Well, I'm not married to a Yeti. Not for that, not anymore. The character is, this is kind of a love letter to my mother-in-law and her friends and my mother. My mother actually did the toilet paper thing when I was a teenager, and of course I wanted to die. So there are connections to real life through it. Very observant, thank you.
Ben, like you have this is part 2 of 3.
Yeah,
Have you done the third part yet, or is
I
this like-
started out with the third part. I don't,
Was that you started?
Yeah, but I've been working with David Ford, and the last thing I did was the third part. So then I got a chance to perform here, so I did the third part when it was fresh.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of confusing. I'll tell you what happens. Do you want to know?
Yeah.
Well, they goofed. I didn't know I was a manic depressive. Thought it was the LSD, so they hit me really hard with these antipsychotics. So I was like 3 months in hospitalization. And when I got out, I still thought I just might be the new Messiah. And it just kept going from there. And then finally, I realized that I really was crazy, but I still could be the new Messiah. I got over it. But it took a while.
Okay, Ben. So I don't know the rest of it. I just found it intriguing. Did you run a state or something, a state hospital?
I was in-
The other hospital?
I was in 4 hospitals.
Okay.
The first one you didn't see, the
Right.
second one was a state hospital.
Okay,
The third one was a private hospital in Miami, and the fourth one was a Catholic hospital.
okay, so you earlier talked about the state hospital, you compare.
Fort Logan, yeah.
Okay,
I don't have a lot of time, so I couldn't talk much about Fort Logan. That was an
Yeah.
experience too, but
yeah, it's just, you. Yeah, cool.
it's hard to cram 4 hospitals.
No, but
into
it's
one-
like, right, but I was mostly interested in the comparison, the state hospital.
Oh, yeah, they're all different.
Yeah, they're really different.
very.
Your reaction would be different.
And the manner of drugging, I mean, they
Yeah.
knocked the shit out of me after I escaped. It's like, you're not doing this again, buddy. What?
They're not gonna give you levels.
Oh,
Yeah, they would.
yeah.
For the piece, for the theater, how much do you feel that you need to keep it accurate as opposed to true?
It, believe it or not, it's very accurate. Everybody, all those interactions I had really occurred. I had to edit them, I mean, get it condensed, and in the process of doing this thing, I had to overwrite it, you know, I wrote, and I had to figure out pieces they could put together and make it into a story. Because I just had a bunch of really crazy stuff happening. But it's all true.
I have a question, Kat. What was the inspiration for the whole Harry family?
A good question, and thank you for being my Lance. This was, I wrote this as a short story in the early 2000s. And when I took it to a writing class, nobody got it. And I was very upset that they didn't understand my genius. But it was written to be a monologue. And so the inspiration for it, I guess the idea is marrying outside your species is equivalent to marrying the other,
Right.
you know, and that's always interesting. And why it was Bigfoot, you'd have to talk to my therapist about that. Probably, there's probably some deep-seated trauma I haven't gotten to yet.
So, I misinterpreted. I thought they were just like really hairy people that.
No, they're
Oh.
Yetis.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Now that's interesting because that's why the line metaphor, no, more like, you know, to say it's not, but if that was your interpretation, then maybe I need to. What should I do you think to make?
I don't know. I will think about this in a bit because I don't know, maybe I was the only one who did not. But because I sort of thought like, oh yeah, they're hairy like a Yeti, you know. I don't know, maybe talking about some sort of incident where, you know, Yetis have to they have to prove themselves or they have to show ID or something like that, getting an immigration card, whatever, but sort of really emphasizing that, no, they're actual Yetis.
If this was a longer piece, if I was going to develop this in a longer piece, then I would have the time and the room to go into the cultural differences, for example.
Right. But I think you're a clever enough writer, you could come up with one or two quick images that you relate, like something about remember when or this, that would really solidify the fact that they are in fact. Yetis. Yeah, you know, they can actually just come up with a couple of quick, images or things that have happened in the past, or, maybe talking to the caterer,
That's an idea. I did have a couple lines, but I was already running long, so I left them out, but thank you, I will. It needs to be emphasized a little bit.
Yeah, because that just adds to the overall weirdness of the.
Thank you, Rudy.
Yeah.
And who exactly was Preston?
Yes.
Preston was the new father-in-law.
Okay,
Oh,
And those are Lance's parents.
okay, Lance, and is Lance the Yeti or is it daughter?
No, the daughter is the Yeti.
That means you're a Yeti.
That my daughter, I have a mixed marriage.
Oh, okay.
I married a Wookiee. I have a furry daughter. And so. Yeah, so the
So
parents
two-
who we weren't sure that they were gonna come and came, those are the groom's parents.
Maybe that's all you need to say is that it was a mixed message, mixed marriage, mixed marriage, you know, interspecies, you know.
Yeah.
Interspecies.
Ooh, interspecies, I wouldn't know it.
Yeah, just something very simple like that, just to acknowledge that. Oh, it's really, he really means it's a freaking Yeti.
Okay,
Yeah.
The person in the back, there you go, sir.
I had a question, not for you, but for the audience. How many people in the audience knew that they were actual Yetis as opposed to hairy people?
I thought they were.
okay, so that's a, thank you, that's a good question, so. I will make that more explicit.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, that's good to know.
Can I,
Oh, go ahead.
I have a comment.
Yeah.
I love you're so understated, right?
Yeah.
And I find you believable,
Mhm.
right? You're so, you know, you're so sweet, you have a sweet persona, and I really liked it, I mean, I felt comfortable, you know. It's really cool, yeah.
Thank you.
How did you decide to use that as your vehicle or whatever your, so, you have a choice to do everything, you feel like carrots hot for you to do like whatever, man, how do you take that?
Yeah, just a lot of trial and error. So like, you have like most comic comedians are what I call like charisma comics. And charisma comics like instantly like draw you in with their energy, but they might not have like well-written or as well-written jokes, but they like tell more stories. And you can't really tell it's a joke. It seems like they just make it up off the top of their head. And when I do that, I'm very, very bad at that. And like, I'm a little bit like awkward and like nice off stage and just sort of like leaned into like who I am off stage. And then it comes off as more authentic on stage. And then people are more on board, like they can feel when you're not being authentic. So when I was trying to be like the charismatic bro, they're like, this guy isn't self-aware.
That's also when you're laughing at yourself.
Yeah, like, so I know it's a little bit awkward, but like as soon as like the fine line that I'm trying to balance is like I never want the audience to feel bad for me. So, like I'm pretty self-assured, but as soon as people start actually feeling bad, it's less likely to laugh.
That's actually when I fell in love with you, because it was like, you know, it just it was this moment where it's like it summed you up in terms of how it was just really charming.
Yeah.
And I love that word in there.
Really appreciate
I
it.
mean, that's me.
Thank you.
So all three of you did your shows earlier this month, right? And did it change at all?
I did a separate, completely
So you
separate
did
thing.
part
I did the
three?
part one, yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I did some rewriting based on things and
About 5 minutes was different. So like generally when you see comedy, they want to start strong. So my start was the same. And then they try to end strong. So like the ending with the wife is like a chunk I've built, but like the 24-hour fitness and like the beta fish and then the like baby name one, that was actually like the brand one. So 5 minutes of new stuff.
Lucas, I'd like to thank you for sharing your best jokes. Is there any, Lucas, is there any comics, you name 3 that inspires you in regards to your development as stand-up?
Yeah, so as far as living comics go, I really like Tig Notaro. He's really long pauses and really plays into it. I also really like Patton Oswalt. He's like pretty nerdy and all over the place. And then I also like Maria Bamford.
Oh, I love that.
And she might, in my opinion, be the best living comedian and does amazing voices and has crazy energy. So he's very different from me, but he's great.
I'm sorry, it's Lucas.
Yeah.
Lucas. Why San Francisco? How come you didn't go to LA or New York?
Yeah, so started in Colorado, which has a strong comedy scene just out of luck. And then had a job lined up after college in San Francisco, and San Francisco probably has top 5 comedy scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's a lot of shows and a lot of possible stage time.
Okay.
If you're doing it only for comedy, New York is the best. But if you're trying to do comedy plus something else, you go to LA. So like a lot of comics from SF go to LA, but then they aren't getting stage time.
Okay.
So they come back to SF, and then you're like battling with LA comics to like get bookings. Long story short, or short, I guess short story long, but New York is extremely cutthroat. I don't really have any interest in going to LA, and the comedy scene was good enough in SF, plus the daytime job, that it was a good place to be.
Do you
So,
wanna do something like you mainly want to do stand up, or would you want to go into like sketch or sitcom, or you were like, no, I just want to do stand up?
I like writing and have done sketches and have done like multiple podcasts and stuff, and like any of those, I'd be down for as well, but ultimately stand-up's what I love the most, and writing material and then performing it myself.
Kat, may I ask you, in regards to the audience that brought their opinions about your play and their input in there, how do you feel about that? Do you think it really works for you? And this is really for your growing into changing it a little bit, or how do you feel about when someone, other people or audience critiques your play? And it's not a bad critique, but just let me know how they're feeling about it.
Well, as with any performer, there's part of me that wants to go, but also, I do this in class. I get feedback all the time. Feedback is important, and feedback from an audience. This matters a lot to me, because the feedback I would normally get from an audience would be the response. But to actually have a poll and say, no, about 80% of the people here misunderstood the essential premise, that's good to know. Should know that.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody.
I have a question for Kat and Bennett.
Yeah.
Oh, unless you want to go first.
Oh, I just had a comment about that. The funny thing is that it totally worked,
Right.
even though we didn't
Oh.
get
Yeah,
that it was.
they're just hairy people.
Yeah. It's exactly the wedding we've all been to. You know, and the further we dug into the character, we really got the cultural differences. It was so just that as a feedback.
That's good to know too.
Yes,
Thank
it
you.
actually worked
Okay.
without us getting that part of it.
Interesting, thank you.
Does make the pool scene funnier.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so, because I know that you, Ben and you, Kat, were both in the David Ford class, and he kind of helps shape your pieces.
Yeah,
How much, training or experience have you had in theater prior to this class? Have you been doing this for years, or you kind of just wanted to try an acting class, and you just,
that's funny. I thought I wanted to be an actor, but I was terrible at it. I took an acting class and was like, I could do somebody else's stuff. So no, like 10 years ago, I wanted to come out bipolar, and I started telling little stories. And I just kind of developed it from there. So basically, I've had no training except along the way.
And I was a performer in my 20s, and then stopped for a combination of reasons, including you gotta make a living, and then some life happened, and last year, I finally got a breath to where I could start doing it again.
Good for you.
So it's been a long time, but in the interim, I've emceed at least 3 funerals, done other stuff sporadically. So, so I didn't completely lose my chops.
Bennett, can I ask you this question? I know you speak in regards to your mental illness. What do you feel, how do you feel?
I love it when you say my mental illness. I mean, it's true, technically I am mentally ill, but
You feel fortunate compared to those that you see in the street that are.
Oh, hell yes.
And what?
I'm really lucky that I've had people supporting me. I could be on the street.
I remember you said that one time, that you, if it wasn't for your family, that you could have been in a different world.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
right.
and then when I see those as we walk the streets, which I do, because I have to, where I gotta go, there's so many that are struggling with that.
Yep,
Yeah.
but to be honest, not that many of them are bipolar. They're mostly schizophrenic.
Bipolar, I can understand, I appreciate it.
But it's just kind of like some of the poor schizophrenic realize there's not much you can do, it's terrible. If you're gonna pick a mental illness, just wanting to go. It can be fun.
That's funny.
Yeah, and I spent a lot of time in between moods, perfectly fine. I had a job, everything.
I think we should use that line. Yeah.
It's a really good line. You should work it in somehow.
It's a gift. And the truth.
Show in Canada, this is part 2.
The middle part, yeah.
This, you'll do it, the show will be all 3 parts.
Oh, yeah.
So basically an hour.
An hour. I've got to keep it in the 70 minutes and I haven't done it all together at one time and I'm still a little bit nervous about it.
You go to Fringe Festival?
Yeah,
Oh, which one?
nobody's heard of Nanaimo.
No.
Anybody, nobody. It's on Vancouver Island.
Oh, okay.
And if you were in the city of Vancouver, you took the ferry across the, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight across to Vancouver
Right,
Island
yeah.
is Nanaimo. And it's a cute little town. They have a wonderful opera house and I performed there last year.
Oh, cool.
State of the art, and they love me there. I'm a god. They were sad that I didn't get in. I was on the waiting list. We were sad that I didn't get in. And then somebody dropped out and they got a place. Sorry, what?
Ben, I don't think you heard, but she called you to the side over there.
Yeah.
See, we want to put her in every audience.
Oh, right. Lucas, what inspired you to get on, to take the leap and get up on stage and do it? Was there a moment or
Like I was in bands before, and then I was reading a Rolling Stone article about stand-up comics. And it is talking about personality traits that most comics have and related to a lot of the traits in the article. And then just went and did my first open mic and it went horribly and I was instantly hooked.
All right, we have time for maybe one more question, if anybody has any. If not, it's totally okay, but last chance. All right, well, I want to go one by one. I know, Lucas, you kind of already mentioned that you have a show next month. But you also want to plug your social media platform, your YouTube channel. Do you want to use this opportunity to tell us a little bit more about you, where to find you, what you got going on?
I'm L Squared Comedy on Instagram and YouTube and post on Instagram stories any upcoming shows. I'm working on a website, but it's not out yet. And yeah, counter post Saturday, July 8th at 8 p.m.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm working on a website. I'll be doing a show here, end of August, maybe Labor Day weekend or something as part of another class, and then one in Berkeley at the Berkeley Marsh. September 3rd or 4th. And I'm writing those right now, so I don't have the details for you.
do you want to give us a little bit of a premise of what you should, or do you want to leave it?
Well, I was gonna argue, they, hopefully there is some light in them. I deal with depression, so I'm gonna argue with you for the mental illness, you know,
Do
because
you like yours?
no, I hate it. But I wouldn't be able to manage the highs. But we can arm wrestle for it. So I have two different shows about mental illness that I'm working on, one here and one in Berkeley, and one of them will be sort of how the brain works and how it goes off the rails. And the other one is more how your environment shapes your experiences shape your emotions and your brain, and what happens, you know, basically how I fucked my way across 2 cities in my 20s and figured it out. I got help.
Will that be playing here in San Francisco or the Berkeley location?
That one will probably be in Berkeley. And so the one about how the brain works will probably be here.
Ben?
Yeah, I have a web page, it's got nothing on it. It's got some fun facts, you know, you can like famous bipolar people. Yeah, really, a good reading list. Trusted Fire, really good book about creativity and bipolar. We are more creative than the average person. It's true. It's true. Some of us, not all of us, a lot of us are. And anyway, so it's my name, BennettHaffey.com. And all I got going is the Nanaimo show. And if that goes well, who knows? Maybe I'll do it here somewhere. But
Yeah.
As somebody who works at a lot of tech shows, Monday Night Market is one of my favorite nights of the week to work, because we get people with all different skill sets who have really wonderful stories. And so I'd like to thank the performers who performed tonight. Also, I want to thank all of you for coming tonight. Your participation, you being here on Monday night, is what really keeps the Monday Night March alive. So I thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you next week.
Robert and Pearl.